Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning into another live stream. It has been a little minute since I live streamed, and I apologize for that. And I know this live stream is happening a bit later, but that's all good though. It's no problem with that. We're gonna have a good time. And yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. As always, I'm Jay Randall, and on this channel I discuss wisdom for the modern man. So, what we're going to get into today, as you guys can see by the title, is Passport Bros. Now, it has been a minute since I've discussed Passport Bros. When I looked back on my channel and I was looking at the last Passport Bros video that I made, I was far back the last one was. But I decided to speak on this particular topic because, well, I came across a few videos within the sparked my interest in the topic again, and I always keep up to date on, and there has been quite a few changes to the scene and being had about it. So today, what we're going to get into, the first video, I have 3 videos we're going to get into, and the first video that we're going to get into today is an update to the laws that greatly benefits the Passport Bros movement. Now, prior to this law, coming into play, there has been this huge talking point that Passport Bros have. Not bring out, you find a woman in the Philippines, Thailand, Brazil, wherever you go. Yeah, right? Don't bring her back to the United States. Don't bring her back to the West, because she will be corrupted by feminism. She'll flip the script on you. And before you know it, she's divorcing you and going off to live the city girl lifestyle at your expense. So, Passport Bros and everybody knows in the community, don't bring her back. But there has been some changes to the laws that greatly improve the situation for men. So, we're going to get into this first video. The YouTuber is, Darwin McPherson, and he breaks it down even better. So without further ado, guys, let's get into that video.
Yo, the very system that used to convince Passport Bros that it's a bad idea to bring their significant other into the United States, Passport Bros just receive an insane advantage, which means they will win in every decades. You had to hide your foreign wife from the West, afraid she'd get infected by feminism the moment you brought her into America. But as of August the 1st, that fear is dead, because now the US government has quietly activated something I call the extradite filter, and it changes everything. And I'm about to break this down in this video right now. Let me just show you why Passport Bros just got overpowered, and how anyone who can get a passport can benefit from this movement. Guys, most men don't understand what just happened. There was a huge policy update by Donald Trump, and it wasn't just about immigration. It was about leverage. Because for the first time in decades, the girl you bring back to the United States can't just flip the switch, get westernized, and walk off with half of your life. As of August 1st, 2025, she either plays her role or her ass gonna get deported. No one is talking about this yet. So let me just break down exactly what just dropped and why I call it the extradite filter. On August 1st, 2025, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services dropped a quiet bomb. A new policy update now makes one thing clear: marrying a U.S. citizen no longer guarantees permanent residency. Let me say that again. Marriage no longer means protection. That's the biggest buff Passport Bros have ever seen. But why is the big question everyone wants to know right now. And the answer? Before this, women could finesse the system. That's right, guys. Women were coming over here, exploiting us and bailing. They'd act submissive overseas, secure the ring, fly back to America, and flip the script. Once they became westernized, filed for divorce, collected benefits, and there was nothing you can do about it. Why do you think Passport Bros who've been in the game before the movement even started would always tell newbies to never bring their women to America? Now, that game is over. The new rules demand evidence, interviews, proof, and they can deport her even after approval if they find anything off. If your relationship don't appear to be genuine and she over here changing up, put pressure on her behavior, think again, my friend. Every attitude, every act of disrespect, every time she think about becoming independent and divorcing you now sounds like the dumbest decision she could ever make in her life. She used to be protected. She used to wild out, act brand new, pick up TikTok talking points, cheating on you, threaten to divorce. And if you say anything, your life got destroyed. Now, that visa, and every step she takes, every move she makes, she knows someone's watching. Because under this new rule, it doesn't matter if the marriage is approved. If fraud is found after the fact, even emotional manipulation or hidden intentions, she could still be deported. That means U.S. soil is not a free pass anymore.
You see, that is huge. That is absolutely huge right there. But I want Desmond Turner. He says, driving home from work, I gotta tune into this. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for joining the live. But yeah, man, this is huge. This is huge. You know, because women have been finessing the system for a very long time. A very long time. And here's the thing. A lot of guys, you know, while they want to, you know, date outside of the West, a lot of men don't necessarily want to leave the West. And I can understand that. You've become accustomed to the first world amenities, the lifestyle. Maybe it's closer to home. And so for a lot of men, the thing that's holding them back from going and finding a wife elsewhere is because they don't want to leave the home and the environment that they've become accustomed to. So for many men, you know, that isn't a barrier, and they're willing to make that sacrifice for the additional benefits, not only to find a woman and a wife, but just the cost of living outside the West is just so much cheaper, right? There's so many more, like the cost of living is cheaper, housing is cheaper, you're able to save more money, you're able to retire early. There's just so much more benefits. A lot of passport bros find that the lifestyle outside of the West is like, you know, it's more of an easygoing pace. It's not like every day everybody's just, you know, nonstop going. It's more relaxing. You know, there's a lot of benefits to leaving the West outside of just women. However, a big one is for, you know, to find a girl, to settle down, get married, and start a family. But people were terrified. There's been so many. I've even covered videos on this channel breaking down how women change up on you, foreign women, when you bring them back to America. And that's because we all know feminism corrupts. Feminism absolutely corrupts Western women in a way that is terrifying. It gets into their heads. They, you know, the poison, you can do better. Why are you listening to a man? What, you know, you can find so much better out here. Go ahead, sleep around. Don't let him control you. Don't let him manipulate you. You know, the girls, they get into their heads. But now that is law definitely helps men to hold on to that leverage. You know, if she wants to switch up, she can. But there's going to be consequences to that. You can send her butt back to where she came from. You didn't bring her over here for that. Nah. You brought her over here because she was a certain kind of woman with certain kind of qualities. If she wants to switch up, you just voided the contract over here. And I think that this came about because I think they're slow. Well, I know it's because like immigration laws, you know, Trump and them are cracking down on this. They want to make sure that people who are over here for the right reasons. And I think that, you know, has definitely, this new law being implemented has definitely benefited men. But I also think that maybe, just maybe, that the governments aren't getting into relationships anymore. And a consequence of that is that there is fewer and fewer marriages, and there are fewer and fewer children being born. The population is in decline, and it's declining rapidly. And I believe that they're slowly putting out different tools that men can use to like better their situation to help improve the dating scene. Maybe it's indirect. They don't want to say it out loud. It might cause outrage, but might have been like a little thing to help improve the dating scene, because they need relationships to happen, because they need families and they need children. You can't have a society that's literally losing its population. This is a huge issue globally. So I think this is definitely a huge improvement for the passport bro situation. It's a huge win, a major win. Now, you can feel less afraid to bring the woman you found back to your country. You can feel less afraid, right? Of her taking advantage of you, walking away with your assets, switching up, doing the whole green card thing. Yeah, man, this is major. This is major. Let's get back to the video.
Probation, and that's how it should be, because men are tired of being ruined by these unruly women. She gets sent back, no alimony, no child support, no assets.
There you go.
Just the clothes she got on her damn back. And that changes everything. Fellas, y'all gotta appreciate this law, because a lot of the women overseas started changing. TikTok, Instagram, passport privilege, they were scamming men into bringing them into the US and then finessing them later. Now, some of y'all don't even know what it looks like to deal with a woman with a westernized mentality. You probably haven't run into modern women.
This is true. They were absolutely scamming dudes, man. I was talking to one of my homeboys at work. It's an older guy. It's funny, but upon talking to him, he disclosed that he found a girl in the Philippines. So he traveled down there, met the family. They were dating for a while. He was traveling back and forth. And after a couple of trips, he decided, this is the girl for me. He met the family and everything. He marries her, goes through the whole process of getting her papers so she can come over to America. And they were together for, I believe, like 3 or 4 years. And during that period of time, the girl would take trips back home. She's just normal, they get homesick, you want to visit family. And of course, he was super supportive with that and would, pay for her trips and allow her to go back home at different times of the year. And one of the days when she came back from one of these trips, her phone is on the counter, and he sees a notification come up with a name that he's unfamiliar with. So he picks it up, opens up the chat, and he goes through it. Woman, every time she's been going back on these, trips because she misses her family, she's been cheating on him with a whole other guy in the Philippines, right? And I don't know he ends up, of course, divorcing her, high level of treachery right there. Can't tolerate that. But I'm not sure if she got benefits and was able to finesse him financially and get, like out. But I don't know if I don't think she was able to take half of his assets. I'm not sure. But she might have. She might have. But with this new thing in place, stuff like that real life situation that happened to somebody I know, someone I work with, won't be happening anymore. Well, it will. Even if she wants to, there's going to be consequences. And that's the huge thing. Women have been able to operate in this dating scene, do the most vile, horrible things without consequence. This is definitely a great law that is being implemented. So let's continue with this.
These days who have been feminized. So let me give you a glimpse of how they act over here.
I know this is going to sound real crazy. I know this is going to go over a lot of people's heads, but I feel like men who don't want to date women with children have issues with their own mother.
Oh boy,
Why?
Here we go.
Because I don't understand a man who doesn't want to date women with children when you come from a mother, when you come from a woman. And I'm pretty sure your mom has children, which means you have siblings. So how do you feel about your mother? It doesn't make any sense to me. Some will say, well, that's his choice. He can feel how he want to feel. He doesn't have to date a woman with children because he comes from a woman. This is true, but I feel like you're projecting trauma onto other people because you haven't healed from whatever happened to you, or however you might feel about your own family or about your own mom. Men who don't want to date women with children either don't like their mother or...
This is strange. This has always been a strange argument to me that women like to bring up, because, bringing up moms, like, first of all, I'm not dating my mom, right? Like, what are we even talking about here? It's like, dude, it's completely different standards. It's so weird. It's so weird, the single mother arguments. And I haven't heard a single mother argument in a while, because every time a woman tried to shame men into marrying single moms, they would get cooked. Every single TikTok I would look at where they're trying to shame men into marrying single mothers, the comment section was brutal. Men were not holding back. So I haven't heard too many women trying to shame men into marrying single mothers lately, which is good. I think they got the point that, yo, we're not doing that anymore.
Bust down and impregnated by other men. And if we are wise enough to decline to do it, they say therapy, because they are being taught that a woman with kids from another man is just as good as an option as a woman without kids. And if we don't date single moms, we must hate our own mothers who might be a single mother, as if our options in a dating market has to mirror who our mother was back when she was dating. Women overseas are not thinking like that. But when they do come to the U.S., this is one of the most toxic mindsets foreign women will embrace, which enables poor vagina regulation and promotes therapy as a way to get men to make poor decisions.
Facts.
You think a man should ever tell a female how to dress?
What I've seen here tonight? Hell yeah. Hell no! Hell no!
Bro, what is this? Oh my God. Of course. Wait, just looking wild and ratchet. Of course, like, who's surprised? Who is surprised that she holds this stance? Hell no! That's hilarious, bro. At least she has some common sense, but good Lord.
Hell yeah. Why'd you say that? Because, would you wear that shit to church? I do. I go to church in my living room. God damn it, I wear what I want. But in a brick and mortar? Hell no. Hell no. So yeah, you do tell a woman what she need to be wearing when she leave the house. Just say it.
The husband. Guys, we have to have better standards than this, men. Please, we got to have better standards. You got this overweight, blonde hair, weave wearing, good Lord, no respect for men. Chick over here talking about a man can't tell her how to dress. Bro, cooked. What are you even doing with that, man? Some dudes just have no standards.
I just say.
What?
Ain't no man telling me what to put on and I'm married.
Now, what you just seen is women who are built like wildebeests, encouraging a modest, married woman to dress like whores in the streets and in the house of the Lord. Not only that, these women who are unruly and disgusting looking claim they're married and are happy to publicly promote that no man, not even their own husbands, can tell them how to dress.
Yeah, man, that's dating in the West. That's dating in the West. I hear that talking point all the time. No man could tell me how to dress. No man could tell me what to do. And you know what? This is great that this law is in place, so we don't have to date chicks like that. You can go leave the country, find yourself a decent chick who has morals, values, isn't wearing blonde weave, and isn't, 300 pounds, that actually respects her man. And you can bring her back and have a little bit more faith that she won't switch up on you. So I think that is a huge, huge win for men. So yeah, W for Passport Bros on that one. All right, guys, so we're going to switch gears real quick, and we're going to get into another video. And this one is about, a gentleman who has been dating and doing the Passport Bros thing for 10 plus years. Well, he's married, actually, but he is here to give his perspective after 10 years of Passport Bro living. What is his perspective on the movement? What is his perspective on his decision that he made? Does he regret it? Does he, think it was the best move for him? And we're going to get into that in this video. And I think it's great that we get into videos like this, because a lot of guys, despite Passport Bros, blowing up lately and in the last, let's say 2 years, it's still relatively new, actually. And a lot of guys are finding the manosphere, and they're, gaining this knowledge like, oh, there's an option out here. There's an option other than dating Western women, like the kind of women we just saw in the last video. And this option, it sounds pretty good, but they're new to it. So it's good to have videos like this where we have veterans in the game can break it down and give some perspective. So without further ado, let's get into this video.
Hey everyone, it is me again. I've had to restart this video a couple times, but that's all right. If you're new to the channel, my name is Corey. My wife's name, Beans. I'm originally from Chicago. She lived with me in Chicago for a couple years. She's not gonna actually be in most of this video. She just walked over here with her coffee, and I'm like, that's fine.
Coffee, it's tablia with milk, like chocolate. It
tablia.
relaxes my mind and my soul.
Okay, I don't know what tablia is, but anyways, I don't ask questions.
So,
that's all right.
Sorry guys, I'm not supposed to be in this video, but I'm here because I'm a Filipina.
She said moral support, so I'm
Moral support to pass.
A video on being a passport bro after 10 years. I do want to say I don't really care for that term. Veterans have been going to other countries, Japan, Korea, Thailand, the Philippines, all over South America, and been getting married for 30, 40, 50 years they're still happy. So I don't really like the new phrase for it, but either way, that's how everyone is phrasing it. So regardless, I've now been one for, just about 10 years, which is why I think I'm qualified to talk about this topic. So yeah, here I am 10 years later, and I wasn't really ever planning on making this video because I didn't really think it was something that needed to be talked about, honestly, but I actually wanted to starting the last week or two because I've come to realize, so after having this channel now for 3.5 or 4 years now, I've gotten, not exaggerating here, you can look at the videos, but not thousands of positive comments, but tens of thousands of positive comments. Corey, you've done it right. So happy. You're smiling more. You're enjoying life. You guys are always laughing together. It's all this positivity, and I love that. I really do. Can't stress that enough. But then every so often I'll get a negative comment, which happens on every YouTube channel. So that doesn't get to me or bother me. But I've noticed it's always the same 2 or 3 things. And I mean, here we are 4 years later, it will still be the same couple of things. So I'm going to address those things really quickly because I don't want to talk about the negative things, especially when they're not even real, and then go on to all the positive things about looking for a wife overseas. So I cannot stress the positive things about it enough, and none of the negatives turned out to be true. So that's why I wanted to do the video. So I got a comment last week, actually, and he owned up to it, and he said he was sorry after. Usually they just, either way, it was the same #1 comment I hear. Oh, she just cares about money. She just wants you for money. She's going to leave you when she has the money. That's all women care about. That's all women overseas care about in general.
And I don't blame men for having that perspective on women. When you've been in the West for as long as a lot of these guys have, a lot of these guys who are commenting have gone through the ringer. They've gone through the divorce, and that really sours your taste when it comes to just not only Western women, but women in general. You begin to think that all women are the same. And most women are the same in the West. I will agree to that. And women do share certain characteristics across the board, regardless of where you are. However, it's so rare to see women with good character in the West that you just begin to just have this, begin to think they're all like a monolith. They're just all the same. And I can totally understand why that is, but once you step outside and the West and the materialistic bubble that a lot of these women live in, you begin to find women that actually value other things. It's interesting, and it's honestly so refreshing to meet a woman that is like completely void of materialism, or at least has very little of it, and is, self-sacrificing, loving, caring, committed, loyal. It's so rare to find in the West nowadays that honestly, I can't blame guys for not even believing it's a real thing.
And I just kind of laugh. I read the comment. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, that's just the truth. It doesn't, because you can't support that or back that up. Anyone that knows my wife knows she doesn't ask me for money because she doesn't care about financial things. And I can't stress that enough. So every year for her birthday, she does the same thing. She doesn't want anything for herself. Never has, never asked for anything. She wants to buy food and then give it away for people that have less. And that's what we do on her birthday every year. We vlog it. And then when it comes down to Christmas time, she doesn't want one present for herself. Nothing, because she has a nice house. And she lives a good life. What does she want? To go shopping and buy little kid toys so she can give it away to kids that don't have anything for Christmas. And I cannot find someone like that back in the West.
Can you imagine that, bro? Fathom a Western woman with that mentality. Doesn't want birthday presents or Christmas presents. She's content and happy with just living a great life, not having to work, having a good husband, has food on the table, a house over her head. She's content with that to the point where she doesn't care for material things. She wants to take what would be her birthday money or Christmas present money and go buy things for homeless people and the less fortunate. That, bro, yeah, I don't know where you would find that in the West. In the West, it's like, instead of that kind of pure, beautiful mindset, you find just money hungry. Oh, what he bought me wasn't expensive enough. The restaurant he took me wasn't expensive enough. He didn't, the vacation wasn't good enough. It's always never enough. No matter how much you give to Western women a lot of the times, no matter how much you sacrifice. So to find a woman with that mindset, bro, that is gold. That is literally gold, to find a woman with that pure heart and that kind of intentions. That's beautiful, bro. I don't know if that's even possible to find in the West.
It's basically impossible. I'm not saying a woman like that doesn't exist, but finding one that is wholesome, has traditional values, wants to care for her husband, and she's actually attractive, all in the same package, it's just unheard of.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, I looked for 15, 20 years, 10, 15 years, whatever, couldn't find it.
Exactly, bro. Like, you guys saw his wife in the beginning, in shape, beautiful, loyal, and has that kind of mindset, bro. The prettier the women in the West, it's like the more they're just horrible human beings. It's like they have no reason to be like decent, wholesome people, because all of the stuff that's afforded to them for free, the opportunities, how men will simp for them and just bend over backwards. So these people have no reason to actually, embody wholesome characteristics. To find a chick who looked at the looks equivalent to his wife in the West with that mindset, yeah, dude, I highly doubt you can find that. And
that's what kind of woman I found. So when we were dating, she asked me the important things, what my religion was. How did I care about animals? How often did I call my mom? Who was my oldest friend? She was asking me all these things that should matter in a man or a spouse. She didn't say how much was in your 401k, how much do you make? She never even asked me what kind of car I drove, because she didn't care. Okay? So that's the difference from the dates I would go on in the West. And right away I would know they're trying to figure out your status.
Yeah, because they're trying to figure out how much they can get from you. Dating in the West is 1000% like transactional. The girls are looking at you as low-key a mark. How much can I get out of him? They're thinking down the line, if they are to do like a rug pull, basically divorce, how much they can hope to gain. So if I get with this guy and I marry him, how much will the cash out be if I decide I don't want to take this route anymore? And since most women decide to do the rug pull and divorce you after a couple of years in the West, they are basically calculating. They're calculating. Western women do not marry for love. They marry for a lifestyle. Men marry for love in the West because men have nothing to gain from marriage in the West, especially in the West. You don't get anything from it, right? Men don't marry for money. We really don't marry for money at all. If anything, marriage absolutely is the financial risk for men, a major one. There's no guarantees in marriage that the woman will give you sex. There's no guarantees that she'll cook for you. There's no guarantees that she'll be loyal. There's no guarantees of anything for men in marriage. There's nothing. The only reason men get married is because they really love the woman that they're with, and they're willing to take this insane risk to have them in their life. But a lot of men now are like, yo, that risk is not worth it. If you want to be in my life, you'll be in my life. A piece of paper does not mean anything. If a piece of paper is what defines love for you, then you don't really love me, because love isn't a contract. Love is a commitment. And just because I signed this paper does not mean you're going to be committed, nor does it mean I'm going to be committed. So why are we even signing it in the first place? All it is a guarantee that if you leave, you get to walk away with half my stuff. So a lot of men are walking away from that.
And if you can elevate them or raise them up, or a woman that just wants to know if you're a good person or overall. So that negative comment, when he said that, I just laughed and I explained these things to him, very shortly and briefly. And I said, my wife went to college. She went to school for business. She owns investment land for coconut harvesting, because it's in the Philippines where we live. So people go and harvest coconuts and they pay her. She doesn't even have to do anything. She's very smart. That's a great investment. And when I said this to him, like, she's not asking me for income. She has income. He just, oh, wow. I didn't know that, Corey. That's great to hear. Okay. Well,
and I think that's a great point, because what a lot of Western women like to paint foreign women as is like stupid, incompetent, poor, and they're only getting with the guy because they need to rely on him for income. But here you have it. This woman has her own business. I'm just trying to point out the character, because a Western woman will have her own business or have her own job. She now views that as a reason to not respect you, to not have to listen to you, to not have to, be traditional. She now views her having money and making her own money as a reason, a valid reason in her eyes, in her opinion, to not have to submit, not have to be a good wife to you because I make my own money. Not only does this woman make her own money, she's still additional. She can take care of herself. So it's not like she's dependent on this, because a lot of Western women like to say, oh, she's only there because she's dependent on your money. No, she makes her own money. She doesn't need his money. She doesn't ask him for money. That's what he just said. She's able to provide for herself, and she still decides to be a traditional wife, be loyal to her husband, has the mindset that she does. She's not materialistic. Bro, you can't find that in the West. To get about how much money they make, that they have their own job, they have their own career, and that's the reason why they don't need to listen to a man or submit to a man or be a traditional wife. Yeah, man, it's a completely different mindset.
He jumps into the second negative thing that I hear often. As soon as she gets to the States, as soon as she gets a visa or a green card, point being is, as soon as she gets back to the West, and that's the second thing that I'll always hear from the negative people, right? And I start laughing again. I'm like, every one of my friends that are back in the States with their wives are genuinely happy, and their wife did not take off on them. All the guys I know that then moved over here, they're still happy with their wives. So I very nicely commented to them, can you show me a statistic to back that up? Because if you look at our YouTube channel at the beginning, you'll see that my wife has been with me for years. Not only that, she lived with me in the States for years. Years. Not like 1 month, not 3 months, not 6, not 1 year. She lived with me in the States for years.
Yeah, see, that's big. That's big right there. And I think, with that new law coming out or, on the books, this definitely helps men to feel more comfortable taking that move. But I don't blame the guy for feeling as though his wife is going to switch up on him when she brought her to sue that. However, not every woman will do that. Some will actually hold on to their traditional values and be grateful for the opportunity that's been given to them to live in a better environment. So not every woman is going to do it. But, Yeah, that's a huge one. That's a huge one. He definitely got himself quite a gem, man. Like that's rare. He was with her for years, didn't switch up, kept the same energy that whole entire time. Bro, my man is winning at life 1000%.
Didn't run off. Didn't care when she got a visa or anything else. She wanted to be a wife. She loved me. She wanted to take care of me, and she wants me to love her in return. And then we moved to the Philippines, which was always our long-term plan. So as soon as I said that to him, watch my earlier videos, and you'll see that we lived in the States. A little while later, I think it was the following morning, he responds, "Oh, I didn't notice that, Corey. Wow, that's amazing to hear." Now, they're the same, and they're never accurate, right? They're not true. So, I just kind of shrugged it off and laughed, of course. But yeah, the negative things, which are two of the primary things that you'll hear, or someone will say, give it 10 years and she'll be lazy and gain weight. And I'm like, well, it's been 10 years and her waist is the same size. So she takes care of herself and we're healthy. So
yeah, she was in great shape at the beginning of the video, 1000%. And I've been seeing this guy because I've follow Passport Bros channels to keep up to date and stuff like that. And I've been following his channel for a while, and yeah, his wife has definitely stayed same weight, in really good shape. But we have, I believe it's Aether Miles sent in a comment here. Said, think there are any South American countries that are good for Passport Bros besides Colombia? It's far too popular and dangerous there now. Yeah, that's a good question, man. That's a good question. I've definitely been hearing some scary stories of things happening out in Colombia for sure. Like dudes getting robbed, guys getting killed. Like a lot of women down there are actually like super finessers because they know men are leaving the country, and they're capitalizing on that in really malicious ways and robbing men, pretending to be interested, getting back to their hotel and that she's working with, and they follow her back to this guy's place, and then they rob him, and they sometimes even kill him. So yeah, it's definitely Colombia would not put that on the list. I've seen some YouTubers who like Colombia give some advice on smaller little country spots that are better to date, but you have to have learn a new language because it's further away from the city, further away from the capital, so less and less people speak English. So there's definitely a barrier there. I would just not recommend Colombia. But as for other places besides Colombia, I'm just not sure. I am not well versed on the best places. However, Austin Holloman does really good job of breaking that down. If you go look at his YouTube channel, he's been all over the place, like a really good record, and actually offers a service. He offers a service to where he offers a service for men who want to travel to these locations. He's been there, and he can actually give you in-depth detail on what's the best places to go, which places are dangerous, avoid this place is best for dating which places are best for dating for different demographics, if you're black, if you're white, Hispanic, where you're going to have the best success. And he offers that service. So you can contact him. I bet you can hop on a call. Of course, it's going to be, for a price. But if you're really interested and you want to know that information, I can't think of a better guy to talk to about it than a guy who's literally been living that lifestyle for the past couple of years, who's been to these different locations. So yeah, that's my answer to that question. So let's get back into the video.
that's not true because you can't back that up from our first video to now. Her waist is either the same size or it's probably even an inch or two smaller. So that's not true either. So again, all the negative things I heard about being a passport bro or what could happen that were bad did not turn out to be true. None of them. All the positive things did turn out to be true though, because here I am 10 years later, and she still loves me. I don't honestly know where anything is in the kitchen. And I laugh about this because she enjoys cooking. She loves it. So every day for lunch and every day for dinner and so on, she's making great meals and bringing it over to the table, and she's happy about that. That's what she wanted to do. She wanted to be a wife, and she enjoys that.
Yeah, a good woman enjoys taking care of her man and making him happy in the ways that, like my girl loves cooking for me. She absolutely loves it. She's always looking up new recipes and sending them to me. Hey, I want to try making this. She loves waking up in the morning and cooking. That's her thing. American women, Western women complain about having to do like anything for a man. They think he's a child. He can cook for himself. He can cook for himself. They don't enjoy nurturing their men. They love to say and claim that they're so nurturing. Women are nurturing. When you ask them, well, why should a man get married? What does he get out of a marriage? What does he get from a woman? Well, women are nurturing. Don't you want women to nurture you? But then when it comes to the nurturing aspect, they're complaining about every aspect of it. They don't want to cook. They don't want to clean. They don't want to cater to their man's needs. They call it slavery. That's doing too much. It's like the only thing that would make them do that kind of service is if you make a bunch of money. Every time it comes down to, them doing something for their man, they're always asking the question, well, how much money does he make? Is he sending me on 4 vacations a year? Do I not have to work at all? Do I, get all this lavish treatment? Do that kind of service for him. But it's not done because they actually care and love the man. It's done because it's a transaction. Spoil me with money, and I'll put on this act as though I'm this traditional wife that you desire. It's all a facade. It's an act. But not too many men get the experience of a woman genuinely just wanting to please you in that way, and not being this transactional experience. And I think that's sad. I think that's really sad. But that's what it's like dating in the West. Nurturing from a lot of these women comes at a cost. It's not genuine.
And she didn't stop doing it. She didn't give up when we got married. Again, now that we've been together for just a little under 10 years, haven't hit the 10-year mark, but she is, or where my savings is. She still never asked me about 401k because she doesn't care about those things. Seriously, I cannot stress it enough. She's happy we have a roof over our head. We have 3 meals a day, and we met each other. Okay, I want you to grasp that and think about it for a minute. We're back in the West. I just could not find that. It was impossible, let alone finding a good, wholesome person, an attractive, slender figure. I'm trying to be very politically correct and polite here. Finding all those positive features in an attractive woman was just impossible.
Yeah, man. Like I said, the more attractive they are, the less wholesome qualities they tend to have. And it's sad. It's like you got to go down in looks to try to find someone that's humble. But even the average chicks, even the below average chicks, don't have good qualities. Like you used to be able to like date a 5 and be pretty, confident that you're going to get a humble woman who, isn't doing too much. She's appreciative of what she has. And, you can rock out with that. You knew that the more pretty ones were going to come with more of a warped mindset and higher expectations, and that a 5 would be a good, solid wife. Now, that's not even the case anymore. You see on these shows, these average women, these below average women, these fat, overweight women, and you see that, wow, their standards of what they think they deserve and demand from a man. You can't even find a humble chick who's below average anymore. The West is cooked. The delusion is like 9,000. It's crazy out here.
Looked up the statistics. It was like 0.03%. If I put in everything that I was looking for, it was not realistic. So I was like, okay, this is just never going to happen. I have to actually go somewhere else. And I've had a few people say, well, it's got to be a lot harder to find someone overseas if you're going to, look into being a passport bro. And the truth is, it's not harder. And when I say that, I want you to think about it. If you go on a dating app, which is how some of the people still meet nowadays, how long are you going to look to find that person?
A lot.
Most people are on there for 1-2 years. They'll keep going on a lot of dates.
Bro, I went through so many girls before I found my girl. Not to say that I wasn't getting women or that I wasn't having success, because I was. But what I mean by found my girl, at least the girl I'm dating now, is a quality woman. One that meets, you're going to have to go through. Bro, it's the amount of women I had to go through, man. It shouldn't be that way. God, I've gone on so many dates. So many dates, bro. Oh my gosh. It's like, oh my gosh. Dating in the West is a mess, man. It is a mess. I had to go on so many dates to finally meet one woman who actually embodied the qualities that are wife worthy. That's insane. That should not be it, bro. Like, I don't even know, what, 50, 60 plus different dates to find one? So yeah, bro, swiping through the apps is even worse. We've seen the data on that. Men have to swipe thousands of times. The average guy has to swipe thousands of times to get one match, and that doesn't even go anywhere most of the time. So yeah, man, it's 100% an improvement if you go overseas.
1, 2, 3 dates with the same girl, and then they're back on the dating app. It doesn't work out, and they don't find the list of things they're looking for. Where as soon as you go overseas, and I'm not saying just the Philippines, plenty of friends that are married, living in Thailand, happy. I have a bunch of buddies in Vietnam doing that, and they love life. Or they're back in the States with their Thai or Filipino wife or Vietnamese wife, and they're still happy. So it's not, I don't want to say it's just the Philippines, but either way, if you go onto the dating app over here, okay, and you start looking for a wife, you will find 5 a day that fit the things you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Every day. By the end of the week, your inbox is going to have 50 messages, and you're scratching your head thinking, this is absurd. As opposed to the West, where the girl is getting 50 messages.
Yep.
And you're not happy with what you get. You're looking at the leftovers. I'm not even going to get into my opinion on all that. But either way, it's not harder. It's just not harder. It's much easier. So I've had someone say, it's got to be more expensive. And, at the truth is, at first, I thought it would be more expensive. I did. But after calculating me and my wife, like chatting on FaceTime, which doesn't cost anything, for a couple months, getting to know each other for an hour or two, and then I had a vacation plan to come over here for 3 weeks. So I added up the flight and the hotel and like the food, which, by the way, the hotel was the Philippines. It was less than $20 a night. Meals are costing me $3 to $7, okay, because we're not going out in like Cebu or Manila. It would cost more. But the point being is, I took those months that we got to know each other and then the vacation, and if I was dating a girl back in the West, it would have cost me double.
Oh, 1,000%, bro. 1,000%. With the cost of living in the Philippines and for a while, quite a while. So I'm aware of like the cost of living and, the situation out there. And yeah, bro, it was definitely going to cost way more in the West. Like with the cost of a room over there, travel is cheaper. The most expensive thing was the plane ticket for sure. But once you got over there, finding a place to live and the food, super cheap. I've seen videos of guys going on dates over there, and they're able to do so much stuff, bro. And you're like, man, these guys are just going everywhere on this date. They go to like 5 different spots, eat, get drinks. Homie spent like $20 by the end of the date. It's like, you did all that for $20? Bro. Yeah, man, dating overseas is a lot cheaper depending on where you go. But, especially if you have the American dollar, You got something like what he has, a YouTube channel where he's bringing in, income like this. Bro, homie is living big. Living great. So, yeah, man. Dating over in story, bro. It is expensive. It's expensive. You see these chicks with their delusional standards. He can't take me on a coffee date. Don't take me to, what was that place that one chick was complaining about? Cheesecake Factory. Don't take me to Cheesecake Factory. They're insulted if you take them to a chain restaurant. It's like you got to take them to like a steakhouse or something to like make them satisfied. And this is why for the longest time I held the standard of I'm not taking a chick out for food on my dates. Well, I mean, I did, but it wasn't like the thing of the date. It wasn't like the main activity. We would go to an arcade. We would maybe go to go do some kind of activity. Go to like go ride go-karts. Go do like some kind of active thing. Sometimes I go to like a theme park. I got like some free tickets to a lot of the theme parks in the area. I'd go to a theme park and just be in an environment like that. But it wouldn't be centered around a meal because these girls have crazy standards when it comes to taking them out to eat. And plus, I don't like meeting a girl over food because it makes it weird. And if I want to end the date early because the vibe is off, now I got to wait to finish the whole food and stuff. So I don't like that. And I'm not paying for no chick's food so she can, use me for a foodie date, even though I've never been used for a foodie date because I vet my girls very well. Like the girls I go out with, they are very much interested in me, in meeting me. But that's the rule I give you guys, is to only date women with high interest. If it feels in any way, shape, or form like pulling teeth to get her out on a date, and I mean in any way, shape, or form, if she's constantly flaking, if she's not responding wishy-washy, or doesn't seem that enthusiastic about it, don't do it. High interest women only. It will save you time. It will save you money. And since I followed that rule, I've never had a girl try to use me for food. In fact, it's funny because even though that's my rule, not to take chicks out on food dates, the girl I'm dating now, my girlfriend, she was actually the first chick I took out on a food date. So I broke my rule. But I didn't break my rule for her. It was just that there's this restaurant that I've always been wanting to go to for the longest time. And every time I just keep, coming up with excuses. I'll do it later. I'll do it another day. I'll go there. So I just kind of got fed up. It's like, no, I want to try this restaurant. And, I had a date planned with her. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy. I don't care. But my girlfriend was showing me high interest anyway. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go and schedule it for this place. So I set the reservations for the restaurant, and yeah, that was my first time I broke my rule, and it was worth it. It was worth it. She was greatly appreciative. She loved the spot, and it's a good memory now because now we're dating. So yeah, it was definitely worth it. But overall, I would just not recommend men. It doesn't tend to end well.
So I want you to think about that like a flight in a hotel. Over a course of like 4 months or 5 or 6 months compared to going to the movies and dinner and buying her things. It's not cheap. It's not more expensive to look abroad. It's cheaper.
Oh, for sure.
I can't stress that enough. When you factor in all those things, trust me, it's a lot cheaper and it makes sense. You guys know what it costs. I've been saying expensive ones, but decent ones.
$50 plus. It starts at $50. Nowadays, what's a decent restaurant, bro? I would say maybe something along the lines of maybe a Bahama Breeze, right? I would say that's a pretty decent restaurant. You get good food there, good service, good atmosphere. That's 2 people. That's right. If you order certain drinks, like alcoholic drinks, that's definitely going to go up. If you order appetizers, that can get into like the 70s or 80s. So yeah, man, just one date that isn't even at a crazy expensive restaurant could land you like $80. $80, bro. It is definitely expensive. And I've seen guys overseas go on dates with these chicks and spend $20 and hit like 5 different locations and they're having an amazing time. I'm like, bro, no comparison.
I mean, I remember when we lived in the States, I took her to the movies and she didn't notice the movie ticket cost because that's not too bad. She's looking at the snacks and she's just like, I don't understand. We could have gone to a 4-star resort with a buffet for cheaper back in the Philippines. I'm like, I know. We got like popcorn and water and stuff. Again, point being is if you're thinking it's going to cost you more, it's not. Okay. So again, the negative things that I heard about it, none of them turned out to be true, but all the positive things are. Okay. She's still a loyal and loving wife that takes care of me. If I sit on the couch and I like move my ankle or my foot or something, she'll be like, oh, honey, is your ankle okay? Oh, let me lift up your foot. And she'll put it on the couch. Let me rub it. Everything's all right. She'll be like, oh, let me elevate it. And she'll put a pillow underneath it. And I just kind of smile. I'll sit down. She'll start combing my hair for me because I won't particularly spend a lot of time doing it. But she's a very attentive, good wife. I mean, that's the truth.
Bro. I have not heard an American man say anything about the dating experience or the women even close to that. Bro, it sounds like a hostage situation. It sounds like it sounds bad. I don't mean to laugh, but sometimes I hear the guys at work talk and I'm like, God, that sounds horrible. It's like they're walking on eggshells. They're afraid of their wives. I'm just like, you can't live like this, man. This is not it. Their wives don't do anything for them. It's like they're always afraid, even to like go out and do stuff. It's like, oh no, my wife would kill me if I did that. It's like, bro, these like, yo, come on, man. These guys have no control. They have almost no authority in their household. The woman calls the shots, and they're just walking on eggshells trying to appease her. Imagine having a wife that actually waits on you like that. Like, that's nurturing. Whatever American women are calling nurturing, bro, what are they doing that's nurturing? What he just described in that scene, in that scenario, that's nurturing. I don't even think most men experience that level of nurturing. I'm curious. Like, this is why I want to start having conversations, right? And I'm growing my TikTok account so I can like start going live on there and, you know, engage with people on TikTok live. Because I want to ask these questions like, what do American women consider nurturing? They don't even cook for their guys most of the time. They don't. Like, what do they give him massages when he gets home? Probably not. Do they rub his feet? Do they comb his hair? Do they do like what do they do? Do they make sure his clothes are ready every day? Do they do his laundry? I don't know. Like, what do they do? I don't know, man. It's strange to me. I have such a high standard that I've only been with chicks who've displayed those kind of qualities, and I was never gave a chick commitment who didn't. So, but I know that I have higher standards than most men. Most men will take whatever they can get. And so I don't know if they're getting nurturing women. I don't think they are.
Here we are just about 10 years later. She still never asked me for getting a car. She doesn't care for that. None of the negative things are true. And she's still happy and positive. I want you to understand something. I would take a polygraph, okay? I'll look for one in the Philippines, and I'll write down all the questions. You guys can give me the questions. And you'll laugh, because here we are, like I said, just a little under 10 years later. She still has never yelled at me. She's never given me, she's never called me a name. She's never insulted me. And it's been 10 years. She's just...
Damn. How many American men can say that? And I'm saying this, guys, because I want you guys to really think about it. You know, a lot of guys are questioning if they should take the jump, take the leap of faith and become a passport bros and, you know, give it a shot and see if it's worth it. And a lot of guys are nervous. I want you guys to really think about your experience in the West. Have you experienced anything like what he's describing? Have you seen any other men experience what he's describing around you? Anything even remotely close to that? Because, bro, take the leap of faith. Honestly, had I not met my girl, I was planning to take the course of the Passport Bros, bro. I literally got my new passport like 3 days ago because, I plan to do some more traveling, with family and also with my girl. So I got my new passport. And, before I met her, my whole game plan was just, get my money right, which I'm doing now, and just start traveling. And had all these different locations, and I've written down that I wanted to travel that were potential, spots for me to settle down and start a family. And I was just going to start taking vacations out to these places, feeling it out. And then after I went to all the different spots on my list, I was going to decide, okay, which one best suits my needs for where I want to settle down. But then I met my girl, and so, the plan has kind of changed a little bit. But yeah, guys, as you're listening to this, definitely ask yourselves, can what he's saying actually be found in the West? And be honest with yourselves, bro, because I don't want you guys to live a life of like compromise. And when I say compromise, I mean with a lot of guys feel as though what they have in the West in terms of Western women, their mindset, what they're willing to do for you in a relationship, they feel trapped. They feel like this is the best I can do. This is what's in my environment, and I'm just going to have to settle. And I'm not talking about the kind of settle that women are talking about. I'm talking about like real settling, like having to settle for a woman with a high body count, having to settle for a woman who doesn't submit to your leadership, who doesn't have traditional values, having to settle for a woman who talks to you crazy, is combative, argumentative. That is the kind of settling I'm talking about. And has to sacrifice to get into a marriage and put on the line. Sacrificing for those kind of things is just not worth it. So really take into consideration this Passport Bros route. And nowadays, I just think men, I can't see a better option for men in the current dating marketplace, because dating in the West just is not the move.
Up or getting a divorce, like when people make those comments online, she's actually like offended by it, because to her that's a sin. And divorce isn't even okay over here. It's not really accepted at all. It's actually illegal, so they don't even do it. She wasn't brought up to believe in that. Her parents have been married for I should probably know this. I'm going to guess 40 to 45 years. I should probably know this. Anyways, and that was one of the first things she asked me. My parents have been married and still together right now for longer than I've been alive, and I'm 44 now. So dang. 45, 46 years, whatever it is, I should probably know that too. But either way.
That's crazy, bro. But see, me and him have a very similar mindset, because I had the same standard, like when I met my girl, because nowadays, bro, we all know the kind of issues that come about when you get with a woman who comes from a single parent household, especially a single mother household. If she came from a single father household, there's still a chance there. But mostly that those kind of situations, bring out in women is just horrible. So when I was out there on the dating scene, I made it a point to only look for women who came from stable households, because I come from a stable household. I come from a Christian family, the kind of family that eats dinner together every night, that prays together, goes to church together. 35th anniversary, and they're still going strong, still love each other. And I made sure that I found a girl with the exact same situation as me. My girl's parents are still together, still love each other. I see them, when I go over to her place, I see them and they're still loving. They go to church together. God, those I feel like they live at church, man. They're always at church. Another church meeting, my girl's always telling me, oh yeah, they're off at church. Oh, they just left for church. Oh, they just came back from church. It's like, that's like the only place they go is church. So they have a very Christian upbringing and active in the church. And so I can tell you guys, like, I have I have such high standards. When I tell like regular chicks what my standards are, they think I'm crazy. They think like I'm just like absurd, or like you'll never find a chick. And honestly, find a chick in the West, which is why I was planning to go overseas. Because my standards for what a wife is so high, bro. My mother has set an excellent example of what a wife is over the years. And for me to see the example that my mother set, the qualities she has, the mindset, the intelligence, the competency, and then see that growing up, experience it, and then choose a woman of the caliber that I see most modern women have, it would be a disgrace. And honestly, my mother wouldn't even approve. My mother would not even approve of that. Like, literally, because like even when I met my current girl, I made sure that she met my parents, and then I even asked my parents, hey, pray about it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're feeling on her. Let me know what God tells you about her, if she's the right one. And because I value my parents' opinion greatly, and I let my girl know that, my parents are very wise, and they have steered me away from a lot of horrible decisions, right? There was a chick previous to her, and, my parents helped me avoid a horrible situation in there. I don't even think I told them about that, but yeah, my girl. And I've only recently, after quite a few months, they've come back and they're like, yeah, prayed about it. She has my approval. So, that to me is a huge thing, a huge milestone to get the parents' approval on my girl. Because I know if my mom approves, if my dad approves, she had to have met quite a high standard. My parents are do not play. So I think it's really good to find a woman who embodies like the characteristics that he's talking about. The way that she views divorce as a sin, and it's just like insulting to even bring it up. That's the kind of mindset you want to have in a wife. And with divorce being women's go-to move in the West, bro, it's tough. It's tough for guys to find a qualified wife, bro. A lot of y'all are going to have to start considering taking the passport bros route.
And that made her happy, because we both took this very seriously. And something that she's considering. She's still not asking me for anything. She's still an amazing wife and taking care of me. It's easier to find. It's cheaper. I mean, again, I'm sitting here like, when I do get a negative comment, I'm honestly confused by them, because it's all positive things, and I can't really think of any negative ones. That's just the truth. Are you going to find some horror stories? Well, of course, but let's be realistic. How many horror stories do you hear in the West about men getting married and then getting a divorce?
I've covered, I think, maybe 3 horror stories when it comes to passport bros on this channel. And of course, there's definitely more. However, in comparison to the West, almost every story is a horror story. I would say 7 out of 10, maybe even 8, are horror stories of men getting into relationships, the woman just absolutely being horrible, toxic, abusive, narcissistic, getting divorced, uses the kids against him, takes all his money. That is the standard in the West. But overseas, you don't hear too many horror stories. And a lot of the times, especially the stories that I've reacted to, it was 100% the guy's fault. I mean, the woman was absolutely horrible, for sure. But the guy was desperate, or a simp, or didn't set boundaries, or, was completely enamored by the chick, and that I put the accountability on him. It was absolutely stuff that could have been avoided by just using simple, wisdom and having self-respect for yourself. just common sense. So even the situations that these guys are falling victim to, I blame them. There's horrible women everywhere on this planet. If you're an idiot and can't see the obvious signs of that, then you're going to have to take accountability for that. But in the West, it's like the default state is just horror story relationships.
100,000 times more than you do when they get married overseas. I mean, statistically speaking, it's just a night and day difference. So if your concern is you could get a divorce, which is always possible, it's very unlikely compared to you getting a divorce back in the West. So yeah, I mean, here I am 10 years later. Every day she's cleaning and smiling and picking stuff up and enjoying life, and she's happy and she's positive and she's taking good care of me. I can't think of anything negative. I'm trying to, and I'm being serious now, but I wanted to kind of talk to you guys and laugh, because if you're thinking about it, and at this point I have no idea. I should probably keep like a spreadsheet or a chart on videos, and then going online and meeting someone, and then they'll send me a selfie with their girlfriend for the first time, or fiance, or when they will get married. I get invited to weddings all the time from people that I've never met in person, but they're like, Corey, you encouraged me to look overseas 2 years ago, and then I found her. I met her a year and a half ago, and we dated for a year, and then we got married. We're getting married, and thank you. And I get that all the time, and they're still happy. And it's great to hear, and I can't stress that enough. And
that's a beautiful thing right there, guys. That is a beautiful thing, that men are actually finding hope. And that's why I make these videos, bro, because a lot of men are feeling hopeless in the West. They're feeling as though there's no point. There's no point. I'm just going to get destroyed in divorce. She's going to be horrible to me. I'm going to end up in a sexless marriage. But this Passport Bros movement is holding out hope for men, and is a great opportunity for men to actually still have that traditional relationship that they always dreamed of. So I think that is a wonderful thing, and I really, really like this video, and I hope you guys could find some encouragement and some inspiration in it. So now, guys, we are going to switch gears, and we're going to get into our last video for this live stream. I want to thank all you guys who have tuned in thus far. Thank you for the commenters. If you guys could leave a like on the video, that would be greatly appreciative. If you're watching this after it's aired, I really appreciate that as well. Please go ahead and leave a like on the video. It helps with engagement. I'm trying to grow the channel. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers. Just need a few more. Just push me right over that edge to hit that goal. And I'd appreciate your guys' support in doing that. All right, so let's get into our last video. So our last video is one of my favorite channels on YouTube. This channel is It's Complicated. Now, I've done reaction videos to quite a few of his videos on this channel, and I never get tired of them. This one, I believe, is his most, and lo and behold, it is about Passport Bros. So when I saw it, I was like, this is perfect. I gotta react to this. I love it. And It's Complicated. He definitely even responds to this channel. He's commented on a couple of my videos that I've made of his content. I really appreciate your support, man. If you're watching this, to have one of your favorite YouTubers comment on your videos, and yeah, that means a lot. It's really cool. So we're gonna get into this video here, and yeah, we're talking Passport Bros. Let's see what people are saying.
This channel is viewer supported. If you find value in my work, please consider making a modest donation using the pay links in the bio.
What do you think of women in other cultures and how they treat their men?
Well, I think it's different. For example, where I come from in Europe, it's more like old school than the modern way of dating.
I think women in other cultures, I just think that they are a little bit more submissive than the women in America.
Do you think they treat their men better because they're forced to or because they want to?
I think because they.
Bruh. Oh my gosh. Already, man. I know I'm pausing it early, bro, but it's stuff like this that piss me off. It's like American women just truly can't fathom a woman like actually being good to her man, catering to her man, putting the family first, and just actually doing it because they genuinely want to. If they see a woman doing that kind of stuff, it only makes sense to them if the man is a millionaire and providing like a extravagant lifestyle. But for a regular woman to like give that kind of treatment to a man, to them it has to come because she's being forced. Despite all the videos of women from these other countries taking to the internet and being like, actually no, we do it because we want to. We love our men. The women tell you themselves. There's been hundreds of videos of women in other countries responding to Western women's, claims that they're being controlled. And it's just not true.
Yeah, they get abused.
Oh, there you
and
go.
Like they can't even wear their real hair. They have to cover their hairs up and stuff like that.
I'm so dead.
Do you think those women are ignorant slaves or do you think they're happy?
I think a mixture of both.
It seems like they're forced to, but because it's a different culture, they kind of want to. The culture is family oriented, so they did want to.
Do you think those women are ignorant slaves or are they happy?
No, I think they're happy, definitely.
What's the difference between Western women philosophy versus Eastern women philosophy?
Western women philosophy is more the feminine side and independence, whereas the Eastern side is more on religious values, I guess.
Western women philosophy is more self-centered, I think.
100%.
Eastern women, it's kind of family-oriented, so they don't just think about themselves, they think about the family, they think about other stuff other than themselves.
1000%, man. The Western woman mindset is me, what makes me happy, every statistical disadvantage because I'm happy and I want to go I'm not happy and I want to go find myself. And, that's what they do. But other cultures will actually self-sacrifice and they realize that there's more to life than just chasing happiness. So yeah, man, a huge, major difference in the mindset.
The difference is Western women feel like they can do whatever they want. They don't care about what a man says. And Eastern, they feel like they have to do what a man says.
Which country treats their women best?
I would say I don't think anywhere treats their woman best. Let's be real. Not America, not nowhere, honestly.
Like, what standard is she using to even measure that? In the West, where men bend over backwards for like breadcrumbs, for like bottom tier women that aren't doing anything for them, men walk on eggshells, provide, they have to reach this like ridiculous standard. Like, what is she even talking about? Like, what metric is she using to judge how women are treated? It's crazy.
What do you think of American women and how they treat their men?
Horrible.
Can you be more specific?
American women are stupid. And I don't know, they're uncultured and I don't know, rude.
I think American women play with men's feelings, and I think they have really high standards and are very picky.
I think American women, they're very cold, and that's why American men, they prefer Latino women.
I mean,
hey, I'll agree with that. I'm Team Latino over here. I am Team Latina. Yeah, I feel like dating the Latina women, they definitely, well, not the Americanized ones. If she grew up over here, bro, toxic. Holy crap. It's like they blowing up your phone. They love starting arguments. It's like they love the whole, let's blow up at each other, argue and crash out, and then, come back in and, love on each other. And, they love that back and forth of just crashing out, going at each other's throats, and then the makeup thing. Bro, American, like, born in the West, born in the United States, Puerto Rican chicks, definition of toxicity. They'll hit you too. They will put hands on you, and yeah, don't do it, bro. But ones that, if you can find ones that like grew up in Puerto Rico or grew up in, let's say, Mexico or Venezuela, and they like, grew up in these places and spent a majority of their childhood over there, and they came over here kind of when they were older, a date. And that's how I met my girl. She grew up over there, spent a lot of time over there, and then came over here later in life. Those girls still tend to retain a lot of their traditionalism, but if she was raised over here, bro, cooked.
It's tough for me to say, but I'd say from what I've seen, it can be unfair because a lot of them will leave with half of the stuff that the man owns if things go bad, and they're very.
What's on the passport bros?
I think it's a cool concept.
I think if you want to be with someone and you don't like her 100%, or if you don't find your people in one place, I think it's awesome that you travel overseas to get what you want. Obviously, yeah.
Why do American men travel overseas to find a wife, but men from overseas don't travel to America to find a wife?
Because women know their worth over here, more exposed to resources.
Nah, bro, I got to answer that one. The reason why men go overseas to find women, but men from overseas don't come here, is because there's no point. There's no value in it. You think that men overseas are unaware of what comes with dating a Western woman? You don't think they have internet, bro? They have internet. They have TikTok. They have YouTube. They can see the Western woman mentality. The way people from overseas view Western women is that they're loose, they're sexually liberated. Can't anybody tell them what to do? They sleep around a lot. That is how foreigners view Western women. They wouldn't leave their country with women who actually are traditional and have all the traits necessary that to qualify them for a wife, and then come to it's literally gotten famous for degeneracy. They're just sexually liberated chicks that don't listen to men. Why would a man travel to find that? This is why you'll notice that when it comes to them out for a weekend, smash them because they know them to be sexually promiscuous, so they'll just have fun with them, flash some money in their face, have fun with them, and then they send them right back. You don't see these countries, these men from these countries, trying to keep these women over there or wife them up or make them their girlfriend. They're like, no, come over for a weekend. I saw your Instagram photos. Yeah, you were twerking, and 1,000%, I'm trying to get a piece of that for the weekend. Come on over. I'll take you to this fancy restaurant. Smash for 2-3 days. All right, see you later. Plan another chick for the next week. That is how foreign men treat Western women, because they see them as sex objects, because that's how Western women portray themselves. All they do is advertise their sexuality on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. That's it. They're sexually liberated, strong, independent women who don't respect men. And they think that with us having to deal with those type of women over here, honestly, anything is better. And so we'll travel, because when we travel, we're traveling for value. There's value elsewhere. There's no value here. At least when it comes to what a man wants for long term, worst place to come to. Absolutely worst place to come to.
I think women in the U.S. are very empowered money-wise, so they don't need a man to save them.
I think the passport is definitely an advantage. When they have the American passport, they can easily get women over there than vice versa.
The women believe, if he comes all the way to America, he has to be worth something. I mean, comes to a different country, he has to be worth something.
Why don't women from America want to travel overseas to find a husband?
Because they're lazy?
They have everything here. I think it's a first world country, so a lot of guys are like up to their standards in a lot of ways.
Here's the thing. The reason why Western women don't travel out, they're looking for in a partner, they wouldn't be able to find it elsewhere. Women are primarily looking for money. or in other words, resources, right? And with America being like such a wealthy country, the wealthiest country, to leave this would be lessening their chance of finding what they're looking for, because they prioritize financial security, money, and now with this materialistic mindset that most modern women have in the West, yeah, that this is the best choice for them. But since men are, we're looking for actual genuine connection, we're not looking for money, we're not looking to, for assets or anything like that. Men, it makes sense for us to travel out. If a woman traveled out, dude, the men make less money. And I was even looking at I was looking at this one chick who was going around and dating men all over the world, and she was complaining that a lot of these men are 100% okay with splitting the bill, and that's like their rule. I think she was in what was it? She was in some place. Was surprised that the guys wanted to split the bill. She was thinking that they were going to be more traditional and stoic and adhere to traditional values. They're like, no, we're splitting this, and she was shocked. So what a lot of women don't realize how well they have it in the West. They don't realize that the lengths men are willing to go for them, only Western men will do it. The things men will tolerate, only Western men will do it. The situations, the back and forth they'll have, only Western men. The chivalry that men will give, despite them not being traditional women, only Western men will do it. And it's not until they travel overseas and see that, wow, these foreign men adhere to entirely different standards and have entirely different expectations of their women, that they realize, oh, wow, we actually have it pretty well made over here with Western men, but they take it for granted. They absolutely take it for granted. And it's crazy.
If men are more likely to travel to find love, why do women think men are lazy when it comes to relationships?
I feel like that has a lot to do with our culture. Men travel to different countries.
Why do you think that women don't do that as much as men do?
Because women don't need men.
I know I'm pausing it a lot, guys, but it just speaks for itself. You just let them talk now. Like the red pill theory is out there. We've talked about how modern women are, and at this point, we're just sitting back and just listening to them talk, and they just confirm everything. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. And the question that he was asking, Western men are not lazy when it comes to dating and relationships. Men, and the Passport Bros proves it. Men will pick up their bags and all that they own and literally go overseas, buy a plane ticket, set up a whole new life and a whole new language. A whole new language to change their dating circumstances. Men are not lazy. It's just that we don't have an incentive anymore. There's no reason to go above and beyond for Western women anymore. There's no value to be had, so why would I put an effort? High body counts. They don't want to submit. They don't want to be traditional. Strong, independent, don't need no man. The mindset that previous woman just displayed. Why would a man put an effort for that? Why? Why? Makes no sense. But give a man a reason, give him hope, and watch him get his financial situation together so that he can afford living overseas. Watch him buy a plane ticket. Watch him set up a situation where he can make, income virtually. Watch him go overseas and learn a whole new language. Watch him go above and beyond to change his situation. Give a man hope. Show him that there's valuable women to be had, and watch watch the lengths he will go to pursue that value. It's just that Western women don't have value to be pursued, so men are just like, there's no point. I'll be lazy.
Woman who doesn't need a man,
Men are way more passionate about finding the hot woman. Into too boring, and that's the truth.
Like men coming into the Philippines, for example, they like to get or find like submissive, mostly young wives. I feel like that's what I see a lot on social media.
Or they expect them to be that way.
Yeah.
I mean,
You can tell by even the way they said that it was kind of like disdain. Like, oh, they want young, submissive women. As if that's like a shame. Men have always wanted that. But see, in the West, a man wanting anything traditional, a man wanting any value out of the dynamic is looked at as toxic. I want a woman who isn't ran through. Oh, that's weird. You want a virgin? You want to, like, that's weird. They accuse you of being like a pedo because you don't want a chick who's been ran through. If a man wants a woman who's going to submit, oh, you just want a slave. You want to control her. If a man wants a woman who's going to cook and clean, they call her a slave. And it's like, bro, a man wanting any value out of a relationship, everything he wants is shamed. And list out their crazy list of requirements. It's, yes, girl, raise your standards. You should have high standards. You deserve the world. You deserve everything. Don't settle. But men can't have anything, bro. Men can't have anything in the West.
women in other countries are better than here. Exactly like your last question. American women are not the best. So, you know, they go out of the country to find a better wife.
Women are in tune to their body. They're not in tune with running a household. They're in tune to social media. They're not in tune with the needs of their significant other or their kids.
I mean, she's right. But like when women say in tune with their body, that's just womanese for they're sleeping around, they're hoes. She's finding herself. She's getting in touch with her sexuality. Anytime you see those like colorful terms, it's just a glossed up way to say they're being promiscuous. They're just being hoes. That's it. There's no value in that. There's no value in that. I don't want a woman who's in tune with her body, at least not according to the Western standard, because that's absolutely code for 304, sleeped around, 10, 20, 30 plus body count. Insane, disgusting.
I'm just going to be honest. The women really is like men. I don't know if it comes from the fucked up experience that they've had. Or we're enough. It's enough. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, wait. Let me just wait. Okay. Wait. Can I just finish one more thing? Okay. And one more thing about that. Why then, if that's true, why do we have the expression "where have all the good men gone," but nobody's asking "where have all the good women gone"?
Oh, they do.
We're privileged. We're privileged.
From where I'm from,
We're the fucking prize. And if women don't know that we're the prize, a nigga, we're the prize.
If you're
Oh man, that's we're dealing with. This is what Western men have to date, bro. Those are the options. F men, we're the prize. And you're supposed to date that? Have kids with that? Build a life with that? Is it any wonder why Black American have like the highest divorce rate? I mean, with a mindset like that, there's like no hope for a long last. Not almost. It's guaranteed to fail. This is what men are choosing from, bro. Cooked. Cooked. Absolutely cooked. Yeah, man. Get your passport, guys. Get your passports. I got my passport renewed. I got mine like 3 days ago. Came in the mail. Bro, get your passport, man, because this is not it.
average man is treated better by women overseas, why do you think men prefer to stay in America and play the game when the...
Probably because of money issues and they don't want to leave their environment.
Essentially, why do you think men spend so much time grooming themselves to please the materialistic women in America?
Ooh. Because looks matter, I guess.
I think
it's because it's all they know. So they're going to go above and beyond to meet the standard, because if you're living in this society, well, you want to get girls, you want a relationship, you want to get laid. So it's like you have no choice but to rise to the, at least attempt to rise to the delusional standards that women are setting. So men, will go above and beyond for below average chicks. And it's horrible that we have to do that. The women are demanding more than ever before while having the lowest value that they've ever had in human history. Hoflation is real. Hoflation is real, and it's still rising at a very high rate.
A lot of them don't know about how much of success they could have if they left the country.
Facts.
So they kind of just stay with what they know in the country, and that's bad success rate in the country.
Yeah.
When it comes to foreign women, what cultures do you think men prefer and why?
Whew. I mean, my first thought, my gut instinct was a typical blonde Russian woman.
Does a woman's behavior play any role in how she's treated by men?
You know what? Honestly, yes. Yes, because you give the same energy that you want,
Does a woman's behavior play any role in how she's treated by men?
Yes, definitely.
1000%.
So why are people so quick to blame the man when things go wrong in a relationship?
Oh, because it's always a man's fault.
It's not always a man's fault. Women definitely do mess up. I've always been told that it takes two to tango where I'm from. It's never just one-sided. It's both-sided.
Because women in the West take no accountability. You hear it all the time. Accountability is female kryptonite. This is like something all men in the West, especially if you're dating women, we all know this and understand this. Just women hate accountability. So no matter what happens in a relationship, they're going to blame the man. It's easy, and society accepts it. It must have been the man. He's the big bag, toxic man, patriarchy. He's abusive. It's easy.
No matter what.
Why do passport bros want traditional women, but when they travel overseas, they target easy women?
Oof, that's a good question.
Maybe because they want to be the alpha man that 2025 is pushing.
Here's the thing. I will agree that there is some truth to that, right? We got to be honest here. I'm all about keeping it real. And what I've seen of doing my research and, looking into the passport bros is when men go to these countries, there is different stages for men, right? There was a guy that I watched that broke it down really well. So here's the thing. When men come from the West, most men are like sex starved, intimacy starved, just, neglect, like they just, or even if they're not even that bad, it's just they have never experienced this level of women finding them attractive and just being pursued. Even if they were able to get girls in the West, which a lot of guys are, they're not able to get that quality of women, and they've never been pursued. They were having to do all the pursuing. Now the women are hunting them. Giving them all the choosing signals. They get on a dating app, it just flooded with, women trying to go out on dates with them, and they're texting them first. So when a man first goes overseas, he goes through like this phase of, going into the candy store, as, Mind Profession Fit would say. It's like the candy store doors just bust wide open and the men just flood in. It's like, oh my God, the women, it's just, and then point where it's like, okay, I've done that. I've got it out of my system. That's standard for them now. That's standard for them now. It's not mind-blowing. They've lived that. They've done that. Now they're calm. Now they're calming down. Now they're starting to vet women. Like girls, they're just for fun. These girls don't have the right mindset. They've been able to identify the traits that are wife-worthy and the traits that are not. Now they start being more selective. And going from girl to girl isn't as thrilling anymore. Start, vetting better. They get a girlfriend. And if that girlfriend qualifies, then they're like, okay, you know what? After a while, maybe a year or two, it's like, I'm ready to move into like a marriage and have kids and get into something more committed. But there's stages. First, they run wild. I'm not going to lie. They run wild. They sleep around. Then they calm down. They find a girlfriend. If the girlfriend made her qualified for the girlfriend, then he ends up wifing her up. And that seems to be the stages that men go through when they go overseas. And I get it, bro. I get it. A lot of these guys are coming out of horrible marriages, bro. Imagine like being in a relationship for like the last 10, 15, 20 years and you've just been disrespected, you've been emasculated, you've been neglected, sexually deprived, sexually starved. A lot of these guys are in sexless marriages, bro. I forgot the percentage of marriages that are sexless, but it's terrifying how sexless these marriages are. And these men, they finally find this level of abundance where they go from a woman giving them the cold shoulder every night to a bunch of young hot chicks chasing after them for their attention. Bro, I could see why they lose it and go wild. But, eventually they do settle down and they go for something more serious. Dax.
I think it's because they're scared of rejection, and easy women, it's probably their first time traveling, so they're going with what's familiar with them.
So is Passport Bros more about sex tourism or finding a wife?
I think it's definitely about sex tourism, because if you want a wife, you don't really, how do I say this? You don't really focus on like the superficial stuff, like.
The truth is it's both. There's definitely going to try to take advantage of it. And what I love about the Passport Bros is that those men get called out. Other like guys who are really about it and looking for something real, they're not trying to turn these countries into the West and just let it become this, sex, promiscuous, thing that we have over here in America. So other people, I've seen them, plenty of guys call them out and be like, yeah, this guy's just, they don't support it, which is good. We got to keep it pure. We got to keep the intentions right. But for being honest, both happens. But even the men who end up actually finding a wife, they played the game at some point. They did their thing. And I get it. It's just a normal, natural trajectory for men, that they have to go through that stage of just getting it out their system. But they end up settling down. And they're
Empowerment in first world countries.
Because we have that freedom.
Why do women seem to be more unhappy the more free that they are?
It's a really good question.
Actually,
because they don't know what they want. And a lot of women are going to hate that men say that, but it's true. And I think that them getting the rights and the privileges and the opportunities that they've been fighting for, and yet their happiness rate, a very clear sign that that is the case. Women think that they want all these things, and feminism is also to blame. Feminism pushes these ideas on these women that aren't even their own. But they just latch on to feminism without actually thinking for themselves a lot of the time. And they believe, oh, this is what I want. Why? Because feminism said it's what I want. And then they run with that. And then they find out, oh, I don't think working 60, 70 hours a week is actually what I actually, wanted out of life. I don't think being the boss babe was the path that was best for me. I don't think not having a man and just sleeping around was best for my happiness. I don't feel empowered by this. I feel used. I feel cheap. I actually kind of just want to stay home and take care of kids and love on one guy. But a lot of them don't come to that realization until they've made the decisions that feminism told them was the best move for them. And a lot of times it's too late. Too many horrible choices have been made, and the consequences of that is that they don't get the outcome that was best for them. It's really sad.
the mental health crisis in the United States is absolutely insane. And I don't actually know why, but yes, the depression and the anxiety that women have here is a lot higher, I think, than other countries. Regardless of money, I think they have a tight-knit family, and that means more than, anything else.
Why do passport bros want traditional women, but when they travel overseas, they target easy women?
So they can get laid? I don't know. And I feel like it's most readily available because the traditional partner, I feel like they'd be marrying within their community and culture and whatnot.
Yeah, so they view it as an escape.
Yeah.
There's some truth to that. I get why he asked this question, but I don't. It's definitely not the majority. You know, like I said, there's phases with that. They target those, you know, untraditional women first to get it out their system. But then when they want to settle down, of course, they go for women with morals and values. So yeah, there's truth to both.
Because they're weak men mentally, and they don't want a good woman. Let's be real, they want a slave.
Oh, there
So
we
is
go.
Passport Bros more about sex tourism or finding a wife?
Sex tourism, definitely not about finding a wife.
That's not true.
Definitely not.
Why do American women feel threatened
Whoa.
by foreign...
That is weird. That is like some Avatar type stuff right there. Like, why is her eyes? I know it's got to be contacts, but that's just a bit jarring. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't feel threatened. I don't feel like we do. I feel like we look better.
Why do American women often shame foreign women, claiming that they're poor and uneducated?
Because they are.
Wrong.
Why do...
Bro, it's so disrespectful. So disrespectful. And as we saw in the last video with the guy and his wife, very educated, went to school, has a business degree, has her own business, making loyal wife. But women in the West, they believe that any woman that doesn't think like them has to be dumb, has to be ignorant, and yeah, no, they're just different values.
American women feel threatened by foreign women. Do foreign women pose a threat to American women for what they offer men?
I don't think it's that much about being foreign, but more the like the rivalry between women themselves, because every woman wants to be better than the other woman.
Why will American women often shame foreign women, claiming that they're poor and uneducated?
Whoa, I've never heard about that, but maybe because they want to portray themselves as better?
How many?
Yeah, she nailed it, bro. They do that because, yes, women are in competition, and women are starting to realize that, well, they're being outcompeted, bro. Like, there's a huge population of women that are actually willing to give men what they're asking for. And Western women have this like stance where it's like, no, we're gonna do whatever we want. We're not gonna be traditional ever again. We're not gonna get our values back. We're not going to, be virgins. We're not gonna stay pure. We're not gonna be traditional. So men are just like, and now they found women in these other countries that will do that. So Western women are losing out because you're competing. Women are competing. And if there's a whole nother country of women that are offering everything you refuse to offer, you're going to lose out on that guy.
How many languages do you speak?
I speak 5 languages.
Damn.
And where are you from?
Croatia.
Their female nature. Why do you think Red Pill advocates for Passport Bros?
Exactly. That don't make that. I don't know. That don't even make sense. If you feel like all women are the same, why are you going to different? That's stupid.
All women are. They do have the same qualities. Well, I guess the same nature, right? But the nature will showcase itself in different ways depending on the values and the society that they grow up in. So every woman is hypergamous. Every woman is capable of manipulation, of cheating. They have deceptive qualities, but they're also capable of being extremely nurturing, extremely loving, loyal, and so they all have the same potential. But depending on the environment, different things will come to the forefront. And because of the environment of the Western society, the evil traits in women get brought to the forefront. Right? The women in other countries, they still have the capacity to be just as evil, but their society nurtures and pushes and advocates for the good aspects of women. Be traditional, be loyal, retain your purity, value a husband, be appreciative. Those things are pushed in those societies. In American society, it's you don't need a man. Men are the enemy. They're trying to control you. They're trying to abuse you. You don't have to listen to a man. Sleep around if you want to. If purity culture is just men trying to control your sexuality, you don't need to submit to a man. Use a man for what he wants, for what you want, right? It's okay to use a man for his finances. You have chicks like Sprinkle Sprinkle literally teaching women how to exploit men and use them for monetary gain with no emotions, no love. So with a culture like that, the evil that every woman is capable of, but the evil aspects are magnified, and the good aspects of female nature are literally suppressed intentionally. Telling a woman to be submissive to her husband, they tell women in the West not to do that. To rely on a man, they tell them not to do that. To be supportive, to be loyal, do what's best for you. Follow your emotions. So literally, the evil in women is pushed, and the good aspects of women is absolutely demonized.
Do you think that women are the problem, or are the people influencing women the problem?
I think definitely the people influencing the women are the problem.
True.
Why the world be open-minded or
exactly
do things for others, not just themselves? I think the society here kind of restricts them into thinking that being by themselves gives them an empowerment, some diluted empowerment, which is, in my opinion, false.
Absolutely, man. Like, fantastic video as always, bro. If you watch this video, fantastic video. I love this guy's channel. Always great questions, very insightful, and you could tell he puts a lot of thought into the questions and the follow-up questions. Great video, man. Yeah, guys, I don't think women, I don't think women are inherently evil. The same way I don't think men are inherently evil. It's just what the society is going to magnify. Both men and women are capable of evil. The thing is, in our society, men are taught to be good, and we push and we support the goodness in men. And we tell them to be the best guy you can be, to love women, to protect women, to be loyal, to be supportive. We encourage the good nature of man, and we demonize the bad nature, the abusive, the toxic nature, the dangerous nature. We suppress the bad aspects, or at least the more dangerous aspects of men, which in some cases is necessary, but in other cases is not, because it's situational. But with women, we really don't at all push for the goodness in them, because it is there, bro. It's there for any man has a good mother, or who knows a woman, is blessed enough to have family members, or maybe have seen other women in other countries, and the way they act is like, women can be good. Women can actually bring a lot of joy and love into your life. It's just that our society does not support that. It does not nurture those traits in women. It absolutely beats it out of them. And that's why we get the kind of women that we have here in the West. And so many cases, the only choice for men is to go overseas. So, yeah. But once again, fantastic video. I always love reacting to its complicated videos. But yeah, guys, that is the last video for tonight. I want to once again thank all the people who tuned in to this live stream. I hope you got value from it. To all the people who are going to watch this later, I hope you found value from it. And yeah, guys, please go ahead and leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. And yeah, have a great night, guys. And until next time, take it easy.